TomoNews presents 10 favorite celebrities who passed away in 2016. Muhammad Ali's most memorable lines get animated. As you've likely heard by now, legendary boxer Muhammad Ali passed away on Friday, June 3rd, after succumbing to septic shock. He was 74. A hero to many, news of the greatest's demise spread like wildfire over the weekend, prompting tributes from far and wide, from people both old and young. His life story has been chronicled countless times elsewhere in print, film, and other media, so with that in mind, we thought we'd do something a little different and animate some of Ali's most memorable lines. Enjoy. I wrestled with an alligator, I tussled with a whale. I handcuffed lightning, thrown thunder in jail. Last week I murdered a rock, injured a stone, hospitalized a brick. I'm so mean I make medicine sick. Float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. The hands can't hit what the eyes can't see. I'm so fast that last night I turned off the light switch in my hotel room and was in bed before the room was dark. Rest in peace, Mr. Ali.
Iconic music legend Prince, dead at 57. Prince, the music legend that gave us iconic hits like Purple Rain and Little Red Corvette, has died at the age of 57. News of Prince's death sparked a huge outpouring of grief on social media, outside his studios, and even from the White House. Prince was a prolific musician. Between 1985 and 1992, he pumped out 8 albums, 1 per year. In the 90s, during a dispute with his crappy record label Warner Brothers, he changed his name to a symbol and became known as the artist formerly known as Prince. In 2000, when the singer's publishing contract expired, he reclaimed the name Prince. Prince won 7 Grammy Awards and earned 30 nominations. 5 of his singles hit number 1, and 14 other songs made the top 10. And according to Charlie Murphy, Eddie Murphy's brother, Prince was also one hell of a badass basketball player. Generations across the world are now crying, not only the Doves. Prince will be greatly missed.
David Bowie is dead. Long live David Bowie. David Bowie is dead. The man who sold the world some of its most brilliant music has passed. Gone just like that. At the age of 69, the Starman has returned to his spaceship in the sky. And Ziggy, as with all life, is to become Stardust once again, though we'd like to think he's probably just back on Mars to fight off those pesky spiders. During his 5 decades in the spotlight, the London boy's art would bleed from the melodic to the visual, and like a chameleon, take many other forms. From his role in helping to rock down the Berlin Wall, to all the good work he did for charity. Bowie's craft was visionary, galvanizing, timeless, and universal. The world is a worse place without him. This is Ground Control to Major Tom. Check ignition, and may God's love be with you. Star Trek actor crushed by 2.5-ton Jeep. Anton Yelchin, best known for his role as Star Trek's math whiz Chekov, was killed Sunday in a freak accident at his Hollywood home. The LAPD says the 27-year-old was on his way to meet friends for a rehearsal when the accident occurred. Yelchin's Grand Jeep Cherokee, which weighs some 2,500 pounds, was left in neutral while parked on a steep incline. Police say the vehicle rolled down the hill backwards and pinned Yelchin between a pillar and a security fence. The friends he was supposed to meet found him at his home when they went there to check on him after he didn't show up for rehearsal. Police do not suspect foul play in Yelchin's death. Many of Hollywood's biggest stars paid tribute to Yelchin on social media, including Star Trek director J.J. Abrams. In a heartfelt note, he wrote, "Anton, you were brilliant. You were kind. You were funny as hell and supremely talented. And you weren't here nearly long enough. Missing you, J.J."
Anyone who isn't dead or from another plane of existence would do well to cover their ears right about now.
British actor Alan Rickman has died from cancer at the age of 69. Rickman brought to life a wide range of characters. He took on romantic roles such as Colonel Brandon in Sense and Sensibility, and Jamie in Truly Madly Deeply. But Rickman was best known for his villainous roles, such as the Sheriff of Nottingham in Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, and maybe even more recognizable for playing Hans Gruber in Die Hard.
Do you really think you have a chance against us, Mr. Cowboy?
But the actor's defining role may have been Severus Snape in the Harry Potter movies.
No one can know.
But I should never reveal the best of yourselves.
Your word.
When you risk your life.
The author of the magical series, J.K. Rowling, tweeted, "There are no words to express how shocked and devastated I am to hear of Alan Rickman's death." Alan Rickman, we salute you. And by Grabthar's hammer, by the sons of Warvan, you shall be avenged.
Baseball star Jose Fernandez killed in boating accident. Major League Baseball lost one of its most beloved players after a boat crash took the life of the Miami Marlins star pitcher. Jose Fernandez was living the American dream. Less than a decade after escaping from Cuba, he already had a promising sports career and a baby on the way. But the dream ended too soon for the 24-year-old. In the early hours of September 25th, Fernandez was on a boat with two friends. Cruising in waters off Miami Beach, the trio had no idea they were headed straight for disaster. Their boat was going on full speed when it suddenly collided with a rocky jetty along the government-cut harbor entrance and flipped over. Fernandez and his friends did not survive the crash. A Coast Guard patrolling the area later spotted the boat's blinking lights above the rocks. They found the crash vessel around 3:30 a.m. and notified other authorities. Rescuers discovered two bodies under the boat and another in the water. All three did not have their life vests on. Authorities believe Fernandez died from the crash impact, not from drowning. The boat's speed was definitely a big factor in the accident, though it doesn't appear as if any of the men were drunk or high.
The Voice star Christina Grimmie shot dead at Florida concert. Late Friday night, a rising star went out in the sky. Christina Grimmie, former finalist on The Voice and a YouTube personality who had amassed more than 3 million subscribers, was shot and killed by a lone gunman after a performance in Florida. The night of June 10th, 22-year-old singer Christina Grimmie put on a show at the Plaza Live in Orlando. Shortly afterward, she was signing autographs for fans at a meet and greet inside the venue. A man in line to meet her, now identified as 27-year-old Kevin James Loibel, walked up to Grimmie and shot her at close range. Grimmie's brother Marcus immediately dove over a merchandise booth and tackled the gunman to the ground. In the midst of the scuffle, the gunman shot himself dead. Grimmie was rushed to the hospital, but died early Saturday morning. Police have revealed that Kevin James Loibel was armed with 2 handguns, 2 additional magazines, and a large hunting knife. He allegedly drove 2 hours from his home in St. Petersburg to commit the murder. It is not believed Loibel and Grimmie were previously known to each other. Police have yet to release a possible motive.
Country singer Craig Strickland's body found near lake. Missing country singer Craig Strickland's body was recovered a week after he disappeared during an ice storm in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Craig Strickland went duck hunting with his friend Chase Moreland during a severe storm in Kaw Lake near the Oklahoma-Kansas state line on December 26th. Strickland was the lead singer of Backroad Anthem, a 6-member country rock band founded in 2012. Authorities discovered their capsized boat shortly after midnight on December 28th, and Moreland's body was found later that day in the lake. Police used search dogs, boats with sonar, and drag lines, as well as a helicopter in their search for Strickland. Strickland's body was found on Monday near the shoreline of Kaw Lake. It's believed he died of hypothermia. Oklahoma was hit hard over the weekend by an ice storm. Nicknamed Winter Storm Goliath, it injured more than 50 people, caused transportation chaos, and knocked out electricity for about 200,000 people. The crazy life and times of Rob Ford. Controversial former Toronto Mayor Rob Ford died of cancer on Tuesday, age 46. The flamboyant politician shot to worldwide notoriety in 2013 when he was filmed smoking crack cocaine. Ford came under intense media scrutiny during a colorful political career, which he began as a Toronto City Councillor in 2000. A staunchly conservative voice in a liberal city, Ford was elected mayor in 2010, promising to lower taxes and cut spending. Criticism from his opponents went beyond the usual political infighting, as Ford lurched from scandal to controversy. But it was substance abuse that proved to be his downfall, following a string of allegations about drunken behavior in public. That culminated in the flamboyant mayor's admission that he smoked crack cocaine in 2013, after denying it despite video evidence. Yet even under the constant glare of the media spotlight, Ford only withdrew his mayoral candidacy in 2014 because of poor health. Diagnosed with liposarcoma, a rare form of cancer, Ford instead ran for and won his old seat on the Toronto City Council. He'll be remembered as a right-wing populist, a larger-than-life character who faced a greater battle with his own demons than with any political opponent. One thing's for sure, Rob Ford certainly won't be forgotten quickly, and we're unlikely to see a politician as colorful or controversial again in our lifetimes. Here's how things unfolded when a child fell into the gorilla exhibit at the Cincinnati Zoo. There's been much public outcry after Harambe, a silverback gorilla, was shot and killed after a child fell into the gorilla exhibit at the Cincinnati Zoo on Saturday. Some claim the gorilla appeared to be protecting the toddler and should not have been killed. However, the zoo maintains that authorities made the right decision, as it was a matter of life and death for the child. Harambe was a 17-year-old, 400-pound silverback gorilla that was shot dead when a child fell into its enclosure at the Cincinnati Zoo on May 28th. Witnesses say they heard the child ask if he could go in to swim with the gorillas, and that his mother had said no. However, the 4-year-old managed to get past a 3-foot-tall railing and bushes that were roughly 4 feet wide before falling into the animal enclosure. The child fell a distance of 15 feet into the moat below that was filled with water about a foot deep. 3 gorillas were in the enclosure at the time, but zookeepers managed to call 2 of them inside. Video captured by bystanders at the zoo show Harambe, the remaining gorilla, seeming to protect the child at times, while at other times aggressively dragging the toddler through the water. The executive director of the Cincinnati Zoo and Botanical Gardens says using a tranquilizer dart on the animal would have made the situation worse, as it would not have taken effect quickly enough and may have agitated the gorilla more. Reports say the child was sitting between the gorilla's legs when officials fatally shot the animal. In memory of Harambe, people have been leaving flowers around a bronze statue of a gorilla and her baby outside the Cincinnati Zoo's Gorilla World exhibit. Some say the child's parents should be punished for failing to keep a closer watch on their child. However, the zoo says it does not plan to press charges.